Hello everyone, Jack Boyles with Steam Engines USA, and today we're looking at this PM Research power plant. Now this is a steam engine number 1 and the horizontal boiler, and it's been done very nicely. A lot of work has gone into this. It has the power water pump over here, all the brass work, fittings, valve, and then a water feed cup. Everything's laid out nicely on a board. And basically the only thing that needs to be done is connecting the steam engine to the boiler. And so a lot of folks have been watching this, the videos on this. This was shipped, and the brass work, the pipe here, was removed. And when it was shipped to me, the brass piping that came up and made a bend and went over and went into the boiler, and then there's a whistle, a PM Research whistle that was sitting on top. Those got damaged. They got bent and cracked. Not a major issue. More of a frustration. So those pieces need to be replaced, and I've actually got a list of them. You can order them from PM Research, and unless this power plant sells, I will probably make the repair myself and then sell it, but I'll be asking a little bit more money for it. So initially when it was shipped, I thought the crank was bent, and I did a video talking about the crank, and there was some rattling in here in the cradle basically. However, yesterday I took it completely apart. I undid all the linkage and was messing with it, trying to figure out what it might be, and it's not the crank. This cradle right here has got play in it, and so when you see if I can, that little bit of play, it's kind of hard to pick up on the video here, but it's just very, very subtle. So there's the back and forth play, which is normal in these, but there's a little, just right there, there's just a little, maybe a thousandths, or not a thousandths, but probably a 10,000ths, just a hair of play in it. Based on what I know, so that's causing the sound that we're getting. Now I'm going to crank it up and run it, let everybody listen to it on air, and what I'll do, I'm going to spin it around so we can look at it from the side. Alright, so I've turned it around, and we're going to add a little bit of air, get it going. And that little bit of sound that you hear is right in here. Not this one, but this one. And I've undid all the eccentric linkages, adjusted those. I took the cylinder end cap off, and there was corrosion actually in here, which was causing it to pile up in the ends here. So I cleaned it out really good, lubed everything up, and it's actually a really good running engine. It's just that sound coming out of here. So some of the machinist friends that are watching this video, tell me what you think, knowing that now I've traced the sound, a little rattle down into here, and the crank is actually straight. like you can see this. I originally thought the crank was bent, but what I was seeing, this little pulley over here is not machined 100% true, so it's got a little wobble, and I took it off, and I took the flywheel off, and the flywheel has got a little bit of wobble, just the slightest bit. So I'm glad to know that the crank is not bent, but I'm not a machinist and I do not build these, so I'm learning. So with that, this engine was actually bigger than I was expecting. I don't intend to keep it. I may myself go through and replace the pieces. And actually, let me take this off. We'll look at those. And the throttle control, it actually works. I can close it up. So it's a really nice engine. And it is mechanical, so there's always little things to do with these. So just barely, I mean, I'm looking over here, I got it running on maybe a pound of air. It's just a great running machine. Open it back up. So we're going to shut her down. Alright. So the pieces that I do have that go with this engine, I'll set those out as well. I'll set them out right here. Alright, so these are the pieces, and they actually go from the top of the steam line coming in, feeding the steam engine, and it actually comes up and goes to the back, towards the back of the engine just a little bit, and then over and down into the boiler. So what you have here is this really nice PM Research whistle, and these things are actually pretty pricey, and this is good. There's nothing wrong with the whistle. This little nipple feeding into the boiler, it got bent. That's what took the brunt of the knock on it when it was shipped. So there you go. You see it's how it's bent over, just slightly, nothing major really there, but that piece needs to be replaced. This little short 4-inch piece of pipe, it has a fitting on this end, and then it screws into this end, so that needs to be replaced. This is actually good. Let's see if I can zoom in just a little bit more. So it just, that fitting is good, and then basically it's setting, would set like this and then go down, and the inside of this is still in there, so that needs to be backed out, so I'm gonna get that out of there. So then you have a little short piece of pipe that's threaded. It'll thread into, actually I believe it's like this, and then yeah, actually it's this way right here. So that piece snapped off, so that piece little 4-inch piece with the fitting, and then this little piece. So basically three pieces of pipe. We'll put this back together. And so unless someone buys it, I'll probably just go ahead and order those from PM Research and get it back together, and we'll see what happens. I may end up keeping it after all, but for right now, I bought it with the intention to play with it for a little while and then sell it. So it's a really nice steam engine, done really well, and it's rather large. Let's see, let me get my tape measure out. Alright, so the base is 21 inches by 21 inches. The boiler, let's see if we can get a good measurement on the boiler. The boiler is 11 inches, and shorten it up just a little bit. The width of the boiler looks to be maybe 3. It's probably on the inside seam, yeah. It's basically right at 3 inches. The water tank basically is 3 inches. Speed pumps about 4. The steam engine itself, let's see if we can, it is right at 10 inches, basically 10 inches long. And then the flywheel, can't really see that, 6.5. Yeah, that's what it looks like. About 6.5 inches. Let's see, width of the crank, 6 inches. And this whistle, it sticks up basically about 4 inches. Oops. The piece, it's actually, that's going to be 5 inches. I said 4 originally, but it's actually right at 5. You got that little nipple, it's just 1/2 inch. So up piece is 1.5 inches. And let's see, the last thing we'll put on here, smokestack. It's just a 9 1/8, basically, just over 9 inches. And let's see, the boiler, four and a half inches wide, and it is from the bottom to the top of the smokestack base is just under 8 inches, maybe 7 1/4, 7 7/8, somewhere around there. So it is functional. I don't know if you can. Yeah, there we go. That's the heating elements up in there. Well, actually, this one, excuse me, it's not. It's fed by a little burner tray. Burner tray slides in here, heats up the bottom, and then this is basically a collection if you have stuff that would drop through. This little tray comes with it, and you put the dry fuel tablets on there, heat them, catch them on fire, and then it slides in here. I'm not sure who came up with that. I don't really believe that's something that would have come with it, but who knows. I'm not a PM Research person. I like Jensen's and know history and collect those, but inside there, it's in good condition. It's not rusted out. A lot of times these things will be just rusted, all the pieces. And this one's not. It's actually in good shape. There's a little bit corrosion down in the bottom there, just in the floor of it, but not much. So there you have it, kind of an up close look and a follow-up with this really nice PM Research power plant. So I've got it listed on eBay. I have a feeling I may end up raising my price, but it does have a make offer option. So if this is something that interests you, let me know. Obviously, I would not accept, you know, $500 for it, because it's, I think, almost $600 in parts. You buy the casting, the boiler, feed pump, the tank, the water cup, and, you know, the board, not even counting the board to put it on. Before any machining work is done, you're basically up over $600 plus. I believe this is $200 or $300. This is $200 or $300. This thing over here is like maybe 40, something like around there, maybe 60. The little water cup, I don't know what that is. I remember looking it up, but I want to say it's like 20 bucks, and then probably $150 worth of fittings, little brass pieces, the whistle. I think that's like another 60 bucks or so. It might have been a little bit more than that. But it's functional. I mean, it's, when you got steam on it, it works. So there you have it. This really nice PM Research steam engine #1 vertical boiler, or excuse me, horizontal boiler. Oh, and the little gauge, that's an option too. That's like a $60 option to buy all these little pieces to hook that up. So just a really nice steam engine, and if I don't get any interest in it, I will certainly repair those pieces, get it back together, and run it on steam. But if somebody would like to have it, let me know. You can also let me know in the comment section if you're near High Point, North Carolina. I will meet you. You can pick it up, and I'll meet you somewhere. But for all the other folks online, whether it's eBay or different social media sales areas, this is it. This is the latest update on it. You can look back through my other videos where it arrived, and then where I initially thought it was a bent crank and it's not, and I get to see even more information on this. So video is longer than I expected it to be, but thanks for watching. If you stuck it out and you're here all 18 minutes, smash the like button, subscribe. Appreciate it, and have a great day. From High Point, North Carolina, Steam Engines USA.